Southampton Airport has had a checkered past. Before its inception as the home of the civilian airport in 1932, it served as an immigration center as well as a base for the United States Navy Air Force. The site was first identified as suitable for aircraft by Eric Moon in 1910, who built his Moonbeam II aircraft in the medieval wall house that still stands opposite Southampton Town Quay. The same meadows belonging to North Stoneham Farm were used in 1914 as the venue for a flying display witnessed by 10,000 people, and when the Department for Aviation asked for suggestions for potential airfields at the outbreak of World War I, it was the natural choice as a base for the Royal Flying Corps. Large hangars and storage sheds were built alongside the railway line, but was soon taken over by the United States Navy Air Force, who were looking for a safe haven from which to bomb the German submarine bases at Zeebrugge. The US Navy took over the site in July 1918, and it was used intensively until the armistice barely 4 months later. Then all work promptly stopped, and by April 1919 the base and all its personnel were gone, and the hangars and accommodation handed back to the Royal Air Force. During the 20s, the future of the base was in the balance, and in 1921 the site became a transit camp for mainly Russian refugees who were anxious to sail to America. The hangars were converted into dormitories, kitchens and dining rooms, and although the hostel was intended to be a short-term clearinghouse, some of the immigrants were still there 7 years later. Atlantic Park, as it became known, had a school, library and synagogue, while the refugees formed football teams and participated in local events such as the Eastleigh Carnival, until the hostel closed in 1931. In 1928 the Prince of Wales delivered a speech in which he stated that every major town and city should have a municipal airport, naming Southampton as an example of a town without one. In 1929, after considering sites on the Forley Marshes and Calshot, Eastleigh Aerodrome was chosen, and the remaining land owned by Atlantic Park was purchased in 1932, with the site officially renamed Southampton Municipal Airport. In 1935 the Air Ministry negotiated with Southampton Corporation to establish a new RAF Fleet Air Arm base, also at the airport. RAF Eastleigh later renamed in August 1936 to RAF Southampton. Naval aircraft from aircraft carriers based in Portsmouth were serviced at the site. In 1936 King Edward VIII landed there and was shown the prototype of the first Spitfire, numbered K5054. The Spitfire flew for the first time at Southampton Aerodrome on the 5th of March 1936 and was later to play a leading role in the Battle of Britain during World War II. The military site on the far side of the runway was transferred to Naval Command in 1939 and renamed HMS Raven. Although during the war it functioned primarily as a ground and air training base, it holds the notable distinction of reported as sunk during World War II, according to German radio broadcasts. In May 1946 the airport was completely derequisitioned, and civilian flying, not just scheduled flights, were once again permitted, and commercial air services from Southampton Airport to the Channel Islands resumed in September 1945. It was not until Southampton Airport was privatised that a hard concrete runway was constructed in 1966, and in 1984 Airports UK Limited was appointed to manage the operational activities and began to improve the facilities. BAA plc purchased the site in 1990 and announced that they would be investing £27 million into redeveloping the whole site, which included the former RAF and Supermarine buildings. The new Southampton Airport was opened in 1994 by His Royal Highness the Duke of York, and every year flies over 1 million passengers around the world.